Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host, Roman Chavez. With me, as always,
Erik Icarus.
Eric,
what's up, Holmes?
how's your neck meat?
It's good, baby.
Good.
Let's get a little bruised a little bit.
Again, looking succulent. You can find us on the gram at REC Podcast. You can follow myself at Roman REC Podcast, and you can follow REC Comics and Collectibles at REC Comics.
And collectibles?
I think it might just be at REC Comics.
Then let's just keep it at that.
Yeah, we'll just keep it at that. Dang it, I've already forgotten it. Aside from your neck meat,
yes, sir.
how are you doing?
I'm good, man.
Good. Look
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of compliments today.
I know, man.
A lot, oddly.
Yeah. It's almost like your mom paid people to do it.
That's what I'm thinking, Mom. It hurts my self-esteem more.
Yeah.
Please knock it off.
My mom thinks I'm cool.
She thinks I'm cool, man. And she thinks I'm hot, too. Let's not talk about that, though.
And this is why I'm hot.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, it's the chemistry. And let's talk about chemistry.
For a show, yes. For a show.
How about that for a segue?
Where we've been, really talking about, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all of that. We kind of talked about some road tripping, characters in the past, but we also wanted to, just kind of touch on
we're going to talk about, let's touch on the, some of our favorite ride or die homie comic book heroes.
Best friend duos.
Yes, best friend duos.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are kind of, the almost odd couple-ish, too. A lot of these heroes, maybe some villains. They seem like two very different people, but actually make it work in the comic books. Whether it's, them just being funny together or working well together, playing off each other together. And there was, doing a little research, there's quite a bit of dynamic duos in comic books. And, we're not talking
Batman and Robin.
I'm about to say, we're not talking sidekicks and we're not talking lovers.
Okay.
So no Black Widow, no Daredevil, no Apollo, no Midnighter. So we're talking full on just bromances and cismances here.
Oh, ooh.
So
Bro cis man cis.
bro cis man cis.
Okay. Well, there are a ton that come to mind. For guys like us.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and start me off with one. What's one that you like? Don't give me your favorite one yet.
Oh no,
Just give me a good one.
We're just gonna go off.
In no particular order.
Order, except for the last one.
Okay,
which
the last
I think
one is significant.
The last one is very significant because I think it sets the template.
Okay.
Let's just go right off the bat. We did talk about this in our road tripping thing, but I think it merits a little more discussion. The Thelma and Louise of comic books. How can we not talk about Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy?
Yeah, no, it's a great pairing. It makes for especially when it's written by a female, it makes for good what I would assume is good bonding.
Sure.
Because when I'm reading them as a male, I am finding the subject matter to it's still connect with me, and then also I can tell something would be funnier to a different gendered person.
Sure, right.
And I'm like, oh, I'm not getting the joke here per se, but
Right.
I get that there is a joke here, and it's okay.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, when it's done well, it is done very well.
And what's crazy about this is that they actually first time they appear together is in Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Episode 556. I think that's a little crazy because again, the Batman Animated Series kind of bleeding into the comic books.
Yeah.
Inspiring the comic books. I find this pretty kind of a tumultuous friendship because when they burn bright when they're together. Mm-hmm. They have so much fun, but it's always at the cost of when Harley is on the outs with Joker, or used to be on the outs with Joker. I think that's very much changed these days. I don't think she's kind of a...
she hasn't been a Joker slave in quite some time.
Okay, which is great.
And then they've even had Harley and Ivy be somewhat romantically involved recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that to some aspect, but why can't they just leave it at the friendship level?
I know, yeah.
Because I think that it works well when they play off each other.
It does.
But again, I can see where, maybe they want to write in the, sometimes friends do fall in love.
I think it's cool that you started off with the female duo. I don't get a strong connection in the X-Men universe to a lot of the females. Like sometimes they kind of pal around a bit, like as a group, or when they go out for like a girls' night.
Sure.
But I remember growing up, I really liked that Storm and Rogue seemed to be like gal pals.
Sure,
and maybe they weren't best friends, but corn pone from the south, and basically a goddess
Our
from
Nubian
Africa.
princess,
Yeah, are
Aurora
like
Monroe.
really good friends, if not best friends.
That's what I'm saying. It's one of those. It's tried and true, but opposites do attract. Not just in a romantic sense, but in a friendship sense.
Sure.
You do tend to see the things you admire about those persons are the things you might lack.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of these friendships we're going to talk about kind of work well, and they read well.
Sure.
Because you do see a lot of yourself in these characters,
Yeah.
regardless of gender.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone's got that Harley friend.
Yeah.
Who's very adventurous. Hey, we're doing this. Then you've got the Ivy friend who's very let's step back on this for a minute, or who's maybe a good ear.
Yeah.
I always thought what's Ivy's real name?
Pamela.
Yeah, I always thought Pamela was a good level head for Harley.
Yeah.
She was a good listener, which is odd because Harley's the psychiatrist.
Yeah. Well, they're both doctors.
That's true. One's a
so,
botanist, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think it's odd. I kind of see maybe, hopefully, that Poison Ivy will be running a weed shop.
Mm.
I think she'd be living here in Colorado if she was a real person.
Yeah.
I want that. I want that story.
Yeah.
Would you write it?
No, I don't. I'm not a writer, kids. I'm not a writer, but I'd read it. I definitely read it. I would check it out. I would check it out. What do you think about like Deadpool and Bob the Hydra agent?
See, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I can get behind that one because it's so absurd.
Yes,
but
yes.
It does play to Deadpool's like very irreverent humor.
Yeah.
In the book, like he wouldn't have like a famous friend.
No.
He'd be like, oh, it's just some faceless goon from Hydra that I'm like homies with, and kudos to that to making like a Hydra agent kind of cool and likable. Because Hydra, for the kids not to know, is an offshoot of the Third Reich.
Yeah. Nazi science division.
They did retcon it to where Hydra was like, we're just using these idiots.
Yeah.
Like we're using their money to finance this, but doesn't make it right.
That and Red Skull still does use the idea of a pure race to
does
stoke
he really?
his followers. Yeah.
Oh, come on, Red Skull. That's so dated, dude.
Hey, man, he's committed to the cause. Okay?
Shouldn't he be the White Skull?
Nah, not with that face. Not with that face. And then I kind of, to a lesser extent and somewhat a more significant extent, Deadpool and Cable. Like, I think Cable...
I don't think they're friends, though.
I think Deadpool sees them as more than they are, and I think Cable will agree to more than we would think.
Okay, it's like, kind of that person at work,
yeah,
that you're like, oh man, I gotta work with you, but you're good at what you do. I'm good at what I do.
Like when you're thinking about having a barbecue with like your close friends, like Cable kind of thinks about Wade. He's like,
what kind of barbecue do I want to have?
Yeah,
we just want to chill tonight, or are we going to get rowdy?
Yes.
Because then you call Wade.
Yes. So he, I do think that there is definite bromance going on, even if it's more one-sided. But,
sure.
But there is one.
I think a lot of Deadpool's friendships are a bit one-sided.
Yeah.
Except for him and Bob.
Yeah.
But I think that's his real only like true friend is Bob the Hydra agent, because everyone else Wade latches onto, like Spider-Man, Wolverine. They just like, dude, you're
it's
annoying.
Just too much.
It's too much for me, man. What do you think about this one? This one is the oddest one, I think, because a lot of people don't know about this friendship. Okay. It is Wonder Man and Beast.
Yeah.
They were actually both Avengers at one point. And actually, their first kind of team up was in Avengers 151.
Yeah.
It's odd to me because you got Simon Williams, who is kind of this... He's an actor. Mm-hmm. Very chiseled good looks. Then you've got, Hank McCoy, scientist extraordinaire, not a looker.
Not a looker. Quite blue. Quite blue.
Yes.
Dee-da.
But they actually hit it off while they're on the Avengers team. In fact... I from what I've been reading, when Wonder Man came back from the dead, he ccame back a bit of a wallflower.
Yeah.
He was, I think he was just adjusting to being alive again.
Yeah.
And Beast actually was kind of, a little more boisterous and just kind of out there. And if people who don't know, in that same issue, Beast actually designs Wonder Man's new costume, that green atrocity that he wears for a while, the crappiest Wonder Man outfit.
Yeah.
To me, this is the definition of an odd couple.
Yeah.
Just on a purely aesthetic form, and then just the way they act. I think it's funny to see, Hank kind of coming out of his shell around Simon.
Yeah.
They do play off each other well from what I was reading on the panels. They do have it does make for some good comedic fodder.
It does, and it was kind of nice to get Beast in a different light. This was a time when they were really shaking up the Avengers title. They were on the cover kicking certain people out. Only some of you can stay.
It was like,
and it's like, who will be an Avenger? And it was just kind of the shakeup, because really Avengers, up until sometime in the 2000s, probably with the new Avengers, and I'm not exactly sure, but I believe I am. Like, Avengers was never a hot selling comic like X-Men.
No,
Avengers never outsold X-Men.
No.
So when they were trying to revamp, trying to get some people in there, we had done other things with the original X-Men, and they just kind of needed more of a science person on the Avengers.
Besides Tony,
and they were able to add Beast, and like you said, it made for some interesting stories. And a lot of people do not only forget that Beast and Simon were very close friends, but that Beast was even an Avenger to begin with.
Right. People, they do. That's right. Beast, was.
You forgot it, and you did
I just
the research.
even literally talked about that. It's funny, it's funny that you do bring up them kind of like kicking people out and stuff like that, and trying to just focus on a 7-member team. They had to. I don't know. What do you think that was about? Trim the fat. Just make people reserve members. Do you think they had to hit some sort of like minority quotient? Like, we need to fill our blue quotient here in our dead guy quotient.
They just wanted to focus the team, because it's like you have people constantly picking up and dropping the title because they're like, I don't know if Beast is going to be in this story.
Right.
Like, I'm buying this book because Beast is in this book, but he's not in this one because we're focusing on Hank and so and blah, blah, blah. So Beast is not there. So they were trying to focus it so they could say, okay, who's useful, who's bringing in, and then if sales were declining over a certain amount of time, okay, let's put back in one of the other guys.
Let's shake it
what
up.
Happens. Yeah,
that's crazy. Because on the X-Men
everybody
gets that way on a team, but I feel like everybody that's up to a certain point, everybody that's on the X team is somebody's fan favorite.
Yes,
except when you get into the like 2010s, when you have like Maggot, and Marrow and Beak, then those people definitely are not picking up the books because of them.
Yeah.
But I think it's a cool little duo, and kids go reach your old school Avengers. There's some good stuff in there.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff, especially John Byrne's run, and there's some really good shakeups.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I gotta correct myself. It was actually Avengers 161 where Hank designs Wonder Man's suit. Sorry, kids. Let's go back to our little DC realm here and talk about Nightwing and Arsenal.
Oh yeah. Teen Titans.
Teen Titans like alum together, kind of came up together.
So really, Robin and Speedy at one point.
So we got Dick and Roy,
and
sounds like a good barbecue joint.
Yeah, a good old Come out and Dick and Roy's. Try the fried pickles.
Saucy.
Try the fried pickles. They were sidekicks of two of the greatest. And the human ones. So
that's right.
Speedy and Robin, and then they go on to be, I believe, founders of the Teen Titans in those roles. And then kind of graduate up into the Young Justice realm, where they kind of grit them up a bit.
Yes.
And then we have a really good new Teen Titans run. And it's just nice to see this team of mostly sidekicks and then just young heroes.
Right.
Go through the trials and tribulations of what it is to be a team.
Absolutely.
But Roy and Dick could easily identify with one another.
They're almost like a fraternity.
Yeah.
They're almost like fraternity brothers, because they came up through the Teen Titans, which I guess any team is like a fraternity.
Yeah.
You both shed blood and tears in this team. So of course you're going to get along in some aspect, but they hit it off a lot more.
Yeah.
Than most of the team.
But then Roy got into some drugs.
My ward.
My ward, a junkie.
Was this did you know about Dick maybe even stepping in during that? When Roy was getting a little
I wasn't reading the ancillary books or around then.
Yeah.
Because that was from the 70s. So,
right.
Long before. Like, I've read that specific issue, but I've not read
the old one,
the issue before it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
I mean, again, you couldn't really ask for two different characters. Dick Grayson, I don't know in his Nightwing persona, is he still the fun-loving, cracking jokes Dick Grayson, or is he trying to be more, set an example like Bruce and be more stoic and...
when it's time to be stoic, he's stoic, but he will have a lot more fun. There's a great line after Bruce Wayne dies, and then Dick ends up taking on the mantle. Two-Face puts it together that it's not the same guy in the bat costume because Dick smiles a lot. So yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, he's like the moves are close, but like he's like the bat doesn't smile.
Right.
So
ugh,
yeah,
Dick.
and even when Bruce talks about like all of the Robins, he says like Dick is the only one who like genuinely like enjoyed the job.
Oh
Yeah,
and the other ones are just kind of like, yeah,
like they like aspects of it. Like Bruce always hopes that Tim will get out of it and become an actual like Gotham City police officer.
He's not a lifer. He
doesn't want Tim to be a lifer. He wants Tim to like join the GCPD
and do it right,
fix it from the inside.
There you go. Jason, he just hopes gets help.
Yeah, Jason, he just hopes doesn't kill all of the bad guys. He's got his team of the outlaws that do a lot of good. So. But they're just a little bit brutal. But Arsenal's there. Arsenal and Jason are on a
because
team.
Arsenal's a little more hardcore, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because Dick is plays by the Batman rules,
closer to the Batman rules than anybody else.
Yeah, he'll break your legs, but he ain't gonna kill you. Yeah. Arsenal, I mean, it's in the name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, yep, they're the fraternity brothers of the comic book realm to me.
Yeah,
and just them. Fighting alongside each other against like Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Just trying to help each other out in that aspect.
That's always a tough fight.
That's always a tough fight.
Because best case scenario for Deathstroke is that he gets beat up and has to get away. Worst case scenario is he beats up Nightwing or Arsenal and then has to deal with Ollie and Bruce.
Yeah, right. I think he's like, I can't hurt these guys too bad. And they actually first team up as Nightwing and Arsenal in Brave and the Bold number 54. So go check that book out, kids.
He's already Arsenal at that point in Brave and the Bold.
I believe
54?
So.
Interesting.
And then we should just stay in the Teen Titan realm, and we will go Cyborg and Beast Boy. Some more Teen Titans for you, kids.
I love Cyborg and Beast Boy's relationship, especially how it was portrayed in Teen Titans Go, the animated thing on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun. It was definitely more of a kiddie centric cartoon,
right?
But they really did hit the points of their friendship. Those two are always palling around, always jiving, always eating. And it's funny because Beast Boy is vegetarian because he's a Beast Boy, and he changes into animals and does not believe in eating them.
Sure.
So when they have barbecues, he
throws a portobello on the grill.
Yeah. They make sure that grilled vegetables are there, and I mean, and Cyborg's usually the one grilling.
Yeah.
So I know, right? And it's funny because Cyborg is like his best friend, but he's also a few years older.
He's like a mentor.
So because he ends up getting called. He gets called up to the Justice League before Dick does.
Oh, really?
Oh,
wow.
So
so he's kind of like the McConaughey character hanging around the high school.
Yeah.
I always saw these two as
Dick's not a member of the Titans anymore. He hasn't been a Titan for quite some time.
Oh, so he's just Nightwing at the time.
He's just solo.
And Cyborg is already getting called up to the big leagues.
Cyborg
is a slept-on character.
Yeah.
I think after the Snyder Cut, though, I think he's finally getting his due.
And that was the thing. Like they were really starting to focus on him a bit.
Yeah.
In the New 52, and they had put him front and center on the Justice League.
Right.
They're like, hey, Cyborg. I can't remember if it was Jeff Johns or Jim Lee, but they had said it's time for Cyborg to graduate. So,
I like it.
So yeah, they put him on that new 52 Justice League roster, and then since like 2012 or whatever, Cyborg's been a
which is great. 'Cause I like Victor. Victor is awesome.
Yeah.
To me, they always kind of come across as Dr. Dre and Eminem because you got the more of the world weary Cyborg a la Dr. Dre kind of giving this pupil Beast Boy a la Eminem some ground to play on and steer him in the right direction. But you also get Beast Boy kind of livening Cyborg up a little bit.
Yeah,
hey, lighten up a little, man. It's all good. We're gonna be okay, man. I always saw them playing off each other like that.
Yeah,
because they do have that mentor pupil thing going for them.
Yeah, definitely
they
the
are
older
homies.
brother, younger brother.
there you go.
Know, you
Definitely.
get that Garth really looks up to Vic. So,
and that is, and you can check this first meeting up in New Teen Titans #1. Get that book, I guess.
Some George Perez action.
Ooh.
Marv Wolfman. Beautiful art. Beautiful art.
Why don't we shake it up a little bit, because we might be staying into the DC realm. You know what? Screw it. Let's go this one. We're gonna start with a twofer, and then we're gonna add a third person into this.
And a third fur.
So we're gonna start right now with James Howlett, Kurt Wagner, aka Wolverine and Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Good buddies. Really good buddies.
They do kind of team up for the first time in Giant Size X-Men #1.
Yeah.
Like my man says here, that is a lot of firsts in that book.
Yeah, one of the
Get
greatest
that book if you can get your hands on it.
One of the greatest first appearance books you can get is Giant Size X-Men #1. It's still relatively affordable, but it is going up. It is going up.
Get it.
Yeah.
Get it while you can.
Yeah.
This to me is one of my favorite friendships, because you've got Wolverine, Logan, Jimmy, whoever you want to call him, very grizzled, Clint Eastwood-esque person. Doesn't take no guff.
Disillusioned, have seen the atrocities of man.
Yes,
in,
over and
in
over.
many facets, many times, many countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got Kurt Wagner, who, in a way, has seen the same things and has had atrocities done to him just because of his appearance. But Kurt manages to stay on the bright side.
Yeah.
And he's managed to kind of take what's happened and who he is and what he looks like, and kind of just run with it and be comfortable with who he is. And I think Wolverine admires it a little. Maybe, again, you see something in that person that you admire or you're lacking.
Yeah.
And Wolverine, is confident, but he just can't. He's not confident enough to lighten up.
Yeah.
And Kurt always brings it out of him. And all these early X-Men books, the Chris Claremont era especially, they do pal around a lot. They're out drinking at the bar.
Yeah.
And that's where we kind of get our, I wouldn't even call him a third wheel.
No.
Just the third drinking buddy.
Yeah.
They're AJ.
Yeah. He is the,
we get Peter.
I guess you're Wolverine then? And I guess you get to be
I
Wolverine.
like it. Yeah. AJ's going to have some, he's going to contest that. He'll contest that. But Peter Rasputin, Colossus, kind of joins the bromance.
Yeah.
The three musketeers of the X-Men.
There's a couple decent stories with the three of them.
Yes.
Going to bars, going places, hanging out. There's a couple. There's a Rob Liefeld issue in Uncanny X-Men. There's also a really fun story. Well, it started out fun where they're actually Colossus takes them both to Russia. But Russia is as Russia does, and they end up getting abducted by the Russians and having to fight.
How do you
their way
abduct Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine?
Hey.
How does that happen?
Putin does what he wants.
Okay.
Right?
I forgot Putin was there.
Yeah,
he's a badass. I'll give you that.
And you got to imagine that the Putin in the comic book world is even more.
I think he's Omega Red.
Up. Yeah, he might as well be.
Yeah. No, Putin is Omega Red.
Do you see they're doing a Dark Star Marvel Legend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, Hasbro, if you're listening, where's our Cyber Legend? Get on that. Real quick, I just got a quick little trivia about our Three Musketeers here. Kurt is the first one to hear Logan, one of Wolverine's many names. And that is in Uncanny X-Men 139. And he is the best man at Wolverine's wedding to
Mariko Yashida.
Yep. And that is X-Men 165.
Yeah.
And
remember that cover with the invitation and
172. Sorry, 172. Yeah, with the sword
through.
Yeah. That's a good issue. It's a good one because that's where they go to Japan for Wolverine's wedding, and there's a little tension between Rogue and Logan at this point
because it follows that Frank Miller run.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
pretty canonical, and this is just when Rogue literally stole Carol Danvers' powers. So Wolverine's a little sore about that. He's not trusting Rogue at the moment. But there's a cool issue I want to talk about, and you're gonna love this issue. This is X-Men 183. Do you know the significance of this one?
I'd have to see the cover more than the number.
Okay, if you saw, let me tell you. So, Colossus admits, because Colossus and Kitty Pryde were a couple,
Yeah.
still off and on in the Marvel universe. He admits to her in this issue that he committed infidelity with an alien woman during the Secret Wars.
Oh my god. I do not recall that.
Yeah, and then Kitty obviously doesn't take it well. Wolverine finds out. And for those who don't know, Wolverine is very protective of the younger women on the team. Kitty, Jubilee, he finds out and decides to take Peter drinking. And Nightcrawler decides to tag along because he's afraid of what Logan's going to do to Peter. But they walk into a bar, have some drinks, they're talking, and who do they see there? Kane Marco.
Juggernaut. Is this the one where they're fighting him
bar
in the cover?
fight episode.
I remember now. I remember the issue.
Coolest issues ever. So Colossus spills beer on Juggernaut. They proceed to fight, and Kurt wants to jump in, and Logan's like, no.
Yeah.
And proceeds to watch Juggernaut just wail on Colossus for a good 7-8 panels. Ends up dropping the entire bar on Colossus, knocks him out, and Colossus comes to and asks, why didn't you help me? And then Logan pretty much tells him, you kind of deserve that for what you did to that little, that girl. So, and then that's kind of how the issue ends. And that's what good friends do.
Yeah.
You sometimes it's tough love, and you got to show tough love to your friends, because there's no way Wolverine's going to be able to physically overpower Colossus.
Yeah.
So I think that was
pretty sure Wolverine can cut into him, though.
You think he could get in there?
Yeah, I think he's got to be able to. If not, he can hurt.
Okay.
He can hurt him. Oof. I mean, it's organic steel versus adamantium.
Good point.
I feel like adamantium's big. I as much as I love the X-Men, I haven't read every single
Sure.
Close,
but not
pretty
darn close.
Single one. So,
is this one of your favorite bromances?
Yes, just because there've been a few different writing and drawing teams that have been able to tackle it over the years, and we get this great stuff about Wolverine's crisis of faith.
Yes,
Kurt's influences. We get the fastball special out of this.
We do.
Friendship.
Yes,
and it's just like a really cool thing when it's like, oh, you and I can hang out, or you and I can hang out, or the three of us can hang out, and it doesn't matter. Like Peter could show up late to the bar, and it would be no problem, and vice versa for any of those guys.
That's the thing is, like, it's good to have a bestie, but when you have two besties, it's kids. You don't know what you're missing.
You got
get out there
options.
and talk to people.
You got options.
One of my favorite things you told me about this friendship is when, and we're talking maybe a little spoilers here, I think when Wolverine dies. And I guess Kurt is like kind of his spirit guide through something.
Oh yeah. Like Kurt had already died at this point.
Oh, Kurt's dead. Yes. Okay.
And then Wolverine gets sent to hell, and Kurt ends up like meeting him in like the hell dimension to like guide him the right way.
And that's how
there's like a demon like possessing his like body. So like Wolverine's soul needs to like come back from hell.
See, I like it. And I love the elf. He calls Nightcrawler Elf.
Yeah.
So that's just a cool little pet name there that I like. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite friendships in comic books.
Totally.
Can we talk a little Green Arrow, Green Lantern? Because they did have a book together.
Yeah, they did. The Hard Traveling Heroes
we
series.
did kind of touch on this a little, but we're talking Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, by the way, kids. I don't see Kyle Rayner hanging out with Ollie. No. Actually, no, maybe, because they're both kind of liberal. Ollie, Green Arrow, he confesses, bleeding heart liberal.
Yeah.
He will be the first. He actually says that in the comics. And Hal Jordan is a decorated pilot.
Yeah.
Military man. I would say.
And cop.
Yeah.
Basically.
Galaxy cop.
Space cop.
Space cop. And I would say maybe leans to the right.
Yeah.
But these two make it work. And that's why it's one of my favorite friendships.
Yeah.
Regardless of your political leanings, you can still be friends.
Yeah.
And sometimes that stuff doesn't matter. And we get some good adventures out of it.
We do, and one in particular, I love this thing where they're road tripping, and they get in a fight with these like hillbillies. Hal takes it. They're at this bar. Hal takes his ring off, puts it on
to even it up.
And they get like a regular fist fight with these guys. God. But while they do that, some other hillbillies find the ring, and it's goofy, and I actually hate it as a Green Lantern lover, but like they're able to make the ring work, and they're like making beers and shit to drink out of.
Yeah, those hillbillies got some willpower.
Yeah,
well, I mean, maybe their will to drink was so hard that they can do
override the ring, man. Override the ring.
I don't know. You probably know this, but our readers don't. But Ollie actually had to kill Hal And that was in the 0 Hour saga.
In 0 Hour?
Yeah, when he's possessed by Parallax, maybe? I'm assuming it's Parallax.
Yeah, okay.
I think he makes the tough call to kill Hal.
Yeah.
Because he knew it wasn't his friend anymore.
Yeah.
And that's heartbreaking to me. I didn't actually read the whole issue, but I just didn't. I think that's that's how you can know it's a good friend when you're like, wow, you're suffering. I'm gonna kill you. So if I'm ever on life support, man, mercy kill.
Mercy kill, got you, man.
Well, I need you to pity me first, and then mercy kill me.
Yeah, I need to uphold the tontine. All right.
But it's funny because I think they pay the favor back, kind of, sort of, because for those kids not to know, Hal becomes the Spectre.
Yeah.
In DC continuity, which, if you don't know, the Spectre is kind of the Watcher of Life.
No, he's the spirit of vengeance for God.
Okay.
He's God's vengeance.
God's vengeance. Yeah. He actually brings Ollie back to life. Yep. So look at that, full circle on that friendship, kids.
Yeah. He says Ollie, I owe you, and pulls him from the other side, and it's great because that's just their friendship transcending, even though Ollie's in the car, but he's not always driving when the Spectre's involved. So, and sometimes he's in the trunk. But yeah,
that's a good one, man.
Yeah.
How about we're getting a little DC heavy here, but how about Oracle and Black Canary?
Oracle and Black Canary
to me are the Monica and Rachel of the comic books.
Nice.
Because they knew each other.
Ross heavy episode.
Gonna be one I want to watch this. It's a little inside joke, kids. Because it's like, they knew each other in passing. They knew of each other, but didn't become friends until it was almost like forced upon them. Yeah. Because Oracle was kind of running her Birds of Prey thing. Because that's where they first kind of team up, is in Birds of Prey Manhunt #1. Oracle just needs someone out there who can, bust some skulls, and Black Canary can totally do that.
Black Canary is a metahuman. She's an excellent fighter as well. Her and Batman go way back.
Yep.
Makes sense.
So, but they kind of form more than a work friendship through these issues. And it's kind of cool to see the dynamic, because very different ladies. There's a point in one of these books where, some of these hoods are after Oracle. They chase her down, but Black Canary steps in and tells them that she's Oracle, and they capture her. She takes the brunt of the punishment for Oracle, which I thought that's pretty commendable. You can take a beating for your friend. That's what's up, man. Yeah. And she's already, what are you gonna do to a crippled person anyway? Like, I'm gonna make you not what? Where do you go from not walking?
I'm taking your arms, man. That's just what it is. It only gets worse from here if it's me, okay? It only gets worse.
That'd be funny if the boss was like, okay, you find this Oracle and you break their legs.
Yeah.
They're like,
I guess we're going to do it. Sorry.
She's like, ow! I can't feel my legs.
Oh my God. I do like when Black Canary is getting married to Ollie, and they had the bachelorette party issue and bachelor party issue, so you have them all doing stuff. I oddly cannot remember what the guys did for Ollie's thing, but for the girls, they had the dancers with if I recall right, they had the male dancers with superhero masks on and everything.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, and everybody's there.
And they're wearing the banana hammocks.
Yeah, dude, it was so funny. I think Amanda Connor did the art too.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was somebody who does a lot of Harley art as
well.
Sure.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was super fun. Man, I'm trying to think of more female. I wonder if the guys don't do it as often because there's so many of the male writers, they don't really know how to do a strong female friendship, because I'm drawing a blank on
more female friendships.
Yeah,
it's funny
Marvel
because
or DC.
Right, because those were the two strongest ones I found were Oracle and Black Canary and Harley and Ivy.
Yeah,
which to me are kind of the same coin but different sides.
Sure.
You got the more boisterous one, and then you got the more level-headed one.
Yeah,
and I think they play off each other very well, and it's cool to see that kind of because Black Canary is very not dainty.
Yeah,
it's very drawn very vixen-like, but she'll kill you.
I'll tell you a friendship that I just want to sit in the room, I just want to be there, and just listen to them talk, and it would be Xavier and Magneto.
That has got to be one of the craziest, bro. It's frenemies territory. But thing is, Magneto's not bad. I don't think he's not all bad. And
He's
then
not all bad. No,
you kind of like the more you read X-Men Kids, Xavier's not that good.
no.
He's kind of a bad person. Honestly,
Comes a long way from this.
exactly.
This guy.
And which is good. It gives
Yeah.
shades to the character.
Totally.
But yeah, I would like to be in a room too because you would hear the debate on their goals, and two guys that will do anything to get their goals done, using children as a paramilitary strike force. And being a mutant terrorist, I guess. I guess they're both kind of mutant terrorists.
Does it keep you awake at night? The thought that somebody may come to you in your school for your children.
I think somebody said that to Michael Jackson once.
Oh God.
We could kind of breeze through this one, Superman and Batman. That one's just your classic straight on odd couple one. They got a lot of cool back and forth. They even had a book.
Several
team ups. I mean,
yeah, they were the world's finest for so long.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. World's finest.
The brave and the bold, and several iterations of the Superman and Batman storyline.
Yeah,
with great stuff, and you see how close they are. There's even moments where Batman is speaking in Kryptonian and Kryptonese because very few people speak that language.
Right, so
anymore.
they're able to communicate.
Yes, so
awesome.
Bruce learns it. So that him and he said, yes, it helps him from a tactical thing, but I think he does it so that he can talk to his buddy in his native tongue,
There's a lot of things that tell me that Bruce does feel for Clark. Is when there's an episode of Justice League cartoon where Clark dies, and Batman goes to the memorial, and he's like, look, I know we never saw eye to eye, but you just got to know how much I respected you, and it's just again one of these cartoon moments that make you tear up. DC does animation so well. They really do.
And it's always Batman that makes you like tear up.
Ooh,
like Batman,
we could do a top 10 on that.
When Martian Manhunter dies and they bury him on Mars, and Batman's the last one to like leave the casket, and he just like puts an Oreo on there.
Yeah,
you're just like,
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Ace episode?
Oh my gosh,
the Baby Doll episode.
Yeah.
Oh, daggers.
Yeah,
the Mr. Freeze episode alone will just if you don't cry in that episode, you are Mr. Freeze.
Yes. A heart of ice.
I think we wrap this up with the one that, for me, sets the template. This sets the template for all friendships in comic books. It is the Heroes for Hire. Luke Cage and Danny Rand,
in a
Power Man and Iron Fist.
In a time where the world needed it in the 70s, too.
Yes,
this is
big time.
This is post-civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
This is...
fresh off civil rights.
It's
Marvel
a strong
leading the charge.
Marvel being woke from day one.
Exactly. So you can't. I know a lot of you out there like to. We all make bad decisions, and they've have some, but always from the get-go, Marvel was very socially conscious.
It all comes from the same place.
Yeah.
They're still, even though it's not the same people, they're still trying to stay and make a difference in the way that they can, And Heroes for Hire, man. The Power Man and Iron Fist have always been really fun.
They first team up in Power Man 48.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Pick that up. It's not going to be going up anytime soon.
It could be if they make a Marvel announcement.
That's a good point, too.
If they make an MCU announcement, it goes up. I know, I should be, that Marvel Premiere 15 Danny Rand first appearance always has some heat to it. But that Hero for Hire #1 Power Man is very affordable still. Yeah, it's worth that. Your boy's got a nice 7 CGC 7 that I got for a tasty price. So,
tasty.
Yeah, but yeah, that's such a it's a great.
Why is it good to you?
It's good to me because, like I said, it was needed in the time. It needed to project the why can't we all just get along type of scenario
while punching bad guys.
While I'm a rich white guy, but I'm down Bruce Lee and all this crap, and then I want to use my money and my power to help the downtrodden,
right?
But it's but then they make Luke well, they better pay us to help you.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
he's the con. I mean, I'm not trying to make this a race thing, but they are to me personality-wise, Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yeah, very much so.
I'm going to say Luke is the Riggs, and Danny is the Murtaugh.
Yeah.
Because, Luke is very much like Riggs. He'll go a little crazy. He'll bust you up.
Yeah.
Danny very much like, hey, let's chill out for a minute, dude. Let's find some peace
Tai
here.
Chi, man,
yeah, let's try this.
Yeah.
But they have some of the best dialogue in comic books. Anytime these two get together, it's depending on the writer, it can be so well done. It's literally watching. It's like reading just two good friends talking. You don't even need the punchy, kicky stuff.
Yeah,
but it's much appreciated. I love it. But yeah, it's so cool because, like you said, we get these two characters from very different backgrounds.
Yeah,
very different styles, but just like they recognize a familiar soul.
Yeah, real recognize real. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they wreck the real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah, that's totally fun, and that's a good group.
They're like the Run the Jewels, baby.
They are. I mean, it's yeah.
Which I think that was used in the Defenders when they first fight together.
It was.
So,
I think. Yeah, I think you're right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. Again, I think it's a testament to Marvel showing, like, look, regardless of where you come from, it's cool to just beat up bad people and do it for the right reasons. There's a bunch of cool Heroes for Hire stories. I mean, like one you told me where Luke joins the Avengers, but he's like, look, I want to do some good.
Yeah.
Not for the upper crust or the world, but down here on the street.
Yeah.
Kind of employs, his homies. Danny's there. Or is Danny not there yet?
Danny's not there yet. He comes up later.
Yeah, but Luke kind of like, marshaling, Captain America basically.
Yeah, be like, yo, we're gonna stand on this street corner for a few days.
Yeah, and these just push the drug dealers off the corner, and because they're like, yeah, what are we gonna do when Cap and Luke Cage is standing right there?
I love it when Luke joins the Avengers and nobody knows who Ronan is, and Ronan is keeping it quiet. He's keeping his mask on. And Spider-Man's like, "Are you Shang-Chi?" and Luke's like, "Did it sound like a Chinese guy under there when he was talking?" And then he's like, "Are you Danny Rand?" And Luke's like, "Don't you think I'd know if that was Danny Rand?" They're just like on the Quinjet, like they just kind of got a little roughed up, you know. Licking their wounds, and Peter's,
just running his mouth.
Yeah, that uncomfortable silence, being with that awkward humor, But it was just, does that sound like a Chinese guy under that mask to you?
But who ends up being Ronan for the kids out there?
Maya Lopez, Echo.
Well, I thought it was Clint.
Nope, he's the later one. Blade is also Ronan at one point.
Hey!
Yeah. That man all gets passed around a lot.
Right?
Yeah, Clint
it's
was
like
Goliath.
the Red Hood of...
Clint was Goliath at one point, too.
Oh my god, he was! Yeah. Was he Black Goliath?
He was not Black Goliath, no.
That would have been in bad taste.
Black guy, Black Goliath.
I just think it's awesome, and I mean, kind of wrapping this up, what makes a good ride or die homie character moment, or characters for you?
Because arguably my favorites are the X-Men ones in there.
Yeah,
and I think those types of moments, like you said, where Wolverine lets Colossus get roughed up a little bit by Juggernaut, that stuff is always fun. Differing opinions, but like meeting
much the Green Arrow
in the middle. Yeah, meeting in the middle. And then just like really fun action, and there's got to be some type of game or cards or bar scene every now and again.
Bro or sis night. We need it.
I feel like it's been a while since I've seen a Marvel poker night.
What's up with that, man?
Now I haven't been reading a lot of modern books, so maybe it has happened.
I mean, it's only been a couple years.
Yeah,
so
it feels like it's been a while. It feels like it's been a while.
For me, it is. I gotta have the moment where, one of them is doubting themselves, and then the other one comes in and picks them up, and then vice versa. Or there's one whose back's against the wall, and then his friend shows up at the last minute. Those moments for me get me all the time, dude.
Totally.
And I think every one of these have those, like, those characters have those moments where they're by themselves and they're like, what am I going to do? And then their bestie shows up last moment, and then they save the day.
And what kind of spurred this idea, this conversation was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we got a lot of that towards the end.
We did,
where we get Bucky and Sam like, oh, I see why Steve was your best friend too. Like to each other, to an extent. So it's nice, it's fun, and kids, that's our show.
Yes.
If you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button. Leave some comments on. Tell us some best friend duos that you like from anything in pop culture. Really, we just kind of focused in comics, but Riggs and Murtaugh are a great option,
Oh, yeah.
for film. So anything you want to tell us about, definitely give us some comic book suggestions. Eric, do you have any final thoughts for us
I
today?
do. If you got a bestie out there, so I think there's nothing you can't accomplish if you got a best friend.
There you go.
You can make it happen. If you got someone's got your back, you're always going to be okay.
Bros before hoes.
Yeah.
Sisters before misters. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. I have been your host, Roman Chavez.
Still Eric Icker.
And we will catch you on the next podcast.